So, hello everyone. Once again, this is the third conversation in series of conversations with Dr. Alok Bajpai. Last time, uh, he left us with a certain punchline to grab the space between certainty and uncertainty. And when we asked how, he reiterated to us that while nature encompasses diversity, nurtures diversity, whether it is form of human life, plant life, or animal life. Now, coming back to the human life, the institutions that nurture us right from our very childhood, be it schools, colleges, or universities, they unfortunately do not nurture this diversity that human race encompasses. What does it lead to is anxiety and enormous health issues. To this idea, Dr. Bajpai last time pointed us that the task is to turn this anxiety into curiosity. In the middle of it, while we grapple with so many health issues, let's listen to him. What does he have to say about these mental health issues and what options do we have in hand? Over to Dr. Bajpai.
Yeah, thank you, Evan. You can keep asking me. Let it not be a monologue.
All right.
So, where we ended a couple of weeks back when we were talking about uncertainty is about how to channelize the anxiety, as you said, or how to turn it into more creative pursuit. In fact, if you look at it, uh, when people talk about awe or surprise or mystery, it's all about transcending the fixations. Once you transcend, then you are in awe. Otherwise, you can get fixated over what is happening, and so that is the type of uncertainty I was talking about. There are things which are happening around us all the time, which appear as totally out of control. Most people feel helpless and powerless to alter things, and it appears the only thing we have in our mind or brain, I'll use it interchangeably,
Mhm.
is how do we react to it.
Yes.
But this is the type of training which I was talking about. And this is what even scriptures and philosophy in the past has talked about. If you really want to boil down the philosophy of Indian knowledge systems, it will boil down to only two or three things. One is a self restraint, like not in the sense of your need and greed, but also on what influence you can have on things. And the second was suffering. So instead of chasing happiness, how do you suffer? What Stoics were also talking, stoically suffering. And the third was the greatest trick of it, let go. So this was the process they were talking about. Add to it something called attention. So amidst all the probabilities which appear in the conscious mind after a lot of unconscious processing, one has to learn to choose what they want. What education actually should have this goal in mind, but this is hardly taught. What are people taught is they are given some targets, some material achievement, some race into so and then so obviously society will function well with assembly line production, that everybody is running in some race and achieving a house and a car and a degree or a professorship, or that's all right to survive. But that is how the world is. So, as you said, everybody is being put into a frame, and then you ask people to be mentally healthy. So, I think this health is given. Health is given. Physical health is given, which people suffer with illnesses and they get cured and all. Mental health is what? It's about harmony between your intellect, between your emotion, and a, rational balance between a lot of contradictory stuff and a lot of possibilities and probabilities and the potentials of things. That is mental health. If you are, it is all harmonized to large extent, then
Yes.
you are mentally healthy. But your memory keeps intruding into everything.
Mhm.
If you look at it, people are not living in the present moment actually.
Yes.
We always think in memory, and memory affects the future. So,
Mhm.
memory is already altering your present, and depending on what we choose, we are moving into future, and that our choice again goes back and alters memory. So, what are we banking on? We are banking on a memory which is getting altered every now and then. So there is no monolith. Now, this becomes very dangerous actually.
Mhm.
It is dangerous. Then everything appears fluid. There is no solid ground on which we are living. There is no solid ground of our self also. So I would say that even if this is a philosophical depth of our all the knowledge and all, it is
Mhm.
not meant for everybody. People should get along with life, harmonize whatever factors and perspectives and things are in their life, and move on in life. And yeah, you think about your own goals and your own philosophies of life. The problem now with all this is
Mhm.
when we are faced with the uncertainty which we are talking, our mind biologically needs certainty and to reduce ambiguity. That is the friction. And in this friction, a lot of mental health issues arise. For one, this is biology and physiology. Second, you have put artificial goals in your head. Third, as you said, the society will say no. Maybe you are meant to be a painter, but normally society wouldn't allow you. Some societies allow, the Western societies are still liberal in that sense. But come to a country like India where bread and butter is associated with your education and skill training. The
Mhm.
half the people are not living a life which they should. And the worst part is they don't even know what they are meant for. India has emphasized in the past that you should find your swadharma, find your inner nature. It has been said, but it is not easy to find your inner nature. Because the
Enlighten us
moment
on
you
this.
go to find,
Yes,
yeah,
please. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, no,
enlighten us on this. Please talk about this. How
I
to
know there's
find your
nothing to
inner
be
nature.
enlightened because once you see, some people are lucky, plain simple lucky, that once they are out into the world, they suddenly find their calling, and whatever happens, they'll follow that pursuit. Musicians, painters, sports people. But for most of us who have been into a traditional education system, at some point of time you start thinking, what do I want to do? But by that time, when you start thinking, your mind has already been conditioned a lot. So if you ask me beyond psychiatry and labeling of diagnostic categories and labeling them with treatment, leave all that apart. That is about illnesses. So trust me, there are only 15-20% people who have illnesses which are biologically engineered, biologically prone, bipolar illness, schizophrenia, OCD, something like this, and some childhood disorders like autism and mental retardation and old age dementia and all. 80% people who go to psychiatric clinics or to psychologists or to other help groups, and they are people whose life problems have
Yeah.
spilled over beyond a threshold where
Okay.
it starts appearing as anxiety or depression.
Mhm.
Now, these are the people who need some support, some medication, and should be helped to find their inner way from within. But you see, there are a lot of helping hands which have suddenly appeared in the world, especially after COVID. Everybody is a
Mhm.
counselor.
Aha.
Everybody
Okay.
is a
Yes.
counselor. Everybody is a psychologist, and everybody, because The problem is that a lot of these are English words. So people think they know it. But I'm
Okay.
sure they're doing more damage than help to people.
Why do you say so?
I say so, I'll give you an example. Suppose some young person is having a conflict with the parents regarding a career choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is not getting resolved. It's a simple matter that you don't sit across the table and talk it out. And parents should give their opinion. The young person should take a call and own it. Now, owning your own behavior, taking the responsibility of your act is something which should be taught to kids,
Yes.
which is not. Because in lieu of owning it, we learn something else called passing the buck.
Yeah.
Somebody else is responsible for my action, right? And that somebody can be from a human being to God.
Yeah.
I'll be the last person responsible for my act. Problem number one. Problem number two, dignity of labor, especially in our countries like India and all.
Mm-hmm.
West has overcome this, where if whatever job you're doing, you're a plumber, you're as respectable as a professor.
Yeah.
In India and Asia, your status is measured by what you are doing. People
Absolutely.
don't realize that whatever you do, it's fine. Now, these are the type of subtle pressures. So, the example which I was giving you, this is the type of conversation, and a young person tries and finds somebody on online, has one or two sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what will happen after that? After two sessions, the language will change. It
From
is no more a simple problem of a career choice and the difference in opinion.
okay.
It will become that my parents are toxic. They don't validate me. I have had trauma. This is the type of stuff which gets into the head. And then people try to fit their life into these definitions.
Huh.
That is the source of lot of mental health problems. And because everybody has the information overload from mobile, from popular science articles, from popular psychology, from spiritual gurus, from God knows what
Yeah.
all. See, all human life, right from the point when human beings started thinking,
Mm-hmm.
they are they were trying to find a meaning to what is happening. Who are we? Why have we come? What is this world about? It is still unanswered. We are also trying to do that. And the more we try to do that, we look into the past knowledge base. So either we become totally, uh, what should I say? We become believers
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we don't want to exert our brain in finding our own answer. So we find some ready-made answers from the past and we'll say, no, no, this philosophy is good, that religion is good, that ideology and dogmas and all. There are very few people who will learn from the past, keep it
Mm-hmm.
on the side, go on to their own journey to find their solutions.
Agreed on that. And I have a question here that it is very similar problem when in late 90s internet was available to the common people and they started googling about self-diagnosis and
Yes,
they would read symptoms and they would fit their health conditions into
yes.
those symptoms and
Oh,
diagnose them
yes.
with certain diseases. So this similar thing is happening in the realm of mental health also.
It
So
happens to a lot of medical students when they go in third year, first time they start reading and finding clinical symptoms. All
yeah.
of them will apply it on themselves, but it's a transitory thing.
So how do
But
we know? Yeah. Can I ask this question?
yes,
I
please,
was
yes, please.
Yeah, I was trying to correlate these two situations. What was happening to all of us in
Mm.
terms of this physical diagnosis, and same thing is happening in terms of mental health diagnosis. How do we overcome this thing? Because yes, it's a very serious problem. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. So people are, what is happening with this information tsunamis in the head? It's a human tendency. Brain will collect all information because brain doesn't want to get surprised. to reduce ambiguity, as I said, connecting it to the uncertainty. Whenever you hear a new term, your brain will evaluate whether this applies on me or not.
Yeah.
So the information which is going into the head, people, again, as I said, people, when they are anxious or they are troubled, and they will start thinking, see, relationship and heartbreaks were happening always. Wars were happening always. The conflicts were happening always. Human life is such because the brain has evolved such. If you ask me in one sentence whether things will improve, never. Forget it. Till the brain functions the way it is functioning, right? Maybe AI will be able to overcome this. Brain will always be conflict ridden. It will always seek solutions. It will always seek ambiguity. It will always be beset with a lot of contradictory options,
Mm-hmm.
probabilities, and so is a larger level. I think it's all, you know what, second law of thermodynamics, entropy. It's a mess. It's a mess. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me. Amidst this mess, we have created systems like education. Society will run well if more people are doing similar things. That is what religion, ideology, education is meant to achieve.
Right.
We don't want aberrations. To deal with aberrations, we have created two institutions, either law
Mm-hmm.
or mental health system. Right? People do crime, they go to law. People who are unaware and do things without intent go to mental health systems. But if you leave apart psychosis and bipolar and all the illness part of it, the number of people who are troubled and anxious and miserable in the behavioral disorganization and anger outbursts and rage, and that has increased
Yes.
because technology is also creating a certain amount of loneliness.
Absolutely.
People can talk to somebody sitting in United States and not talk to the person sitting next to him.
Yes.
You can do a cyber love, digital love, but not love the other person.
Yes.
There is one problem, that is loneliness. People are so stuck on a screen. The other problem is what some people call it invisibility. Invisibility means people. So brain. When I say what is brain doing, brain is always trying to find a meaning to life.
Mm-hmm.
But when you find a meaning, you also need some recognition by somebody
Yes.
that I mean something in this world, right?
Yes.
So when you find that I don't mean anything, nobody is actually bothered about me, that is the worst point of triggering a mental health crisis.
Okay.
So most people, when you see go to Facebook, why you'll wonder why are people commenting so much?
Validation,
Validation.
acknowledgement.
This is called symbolic intervention.
Okay.
Symbolic intervention. Ashish Nandi Saab, one of the great thinkers of this country, used this word. Suddenly people realize that I'm nothing. Nobody is acknowledging me. What do? I do a symbolic intervention, comment on something, praise something. And that is, people have become more verbose. Everybody is talking too much.
Yeah.
If not actually orally, they are writing, and that is also talking of one way.
Yes.
Somebody
Pressing.
should recognize me.
Yeah.
These are the modern crises that are leading to new mental health problems. Old definitions will not work. That is the crisis which mental health professionals are facing. But I don't think they are seeing, it's like elephant in the room. They are not seeing it. They are still hung on diagnosing old labels from DSM and international classification, mixing, matching drugs, doing the old models of therapies and all. But the problem is that everything is going so topsy-turvy. In that, you create a new word. There's something called trauma-informed therapy. Now, if you do a trauma-informed therapy,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously anything can be a trauma for anybody
True.
beyond the real trauma. So some of the definitions in mental health
Mhm.
are a new age definition arising out of the interface between technology, a very, very fast changing pace of economics, a very, very fast changing pace of uncertainty, and anything can be an uncertainty, right?
Yes.
But our brain, as I said, is a Paleolithic brain. It still responds to insecurity.
Mhm.
So there may be a chaos in international flights or domestic flights, and then people are expected to be quiet. How can they
Yes.
be? Because any uncertainty again is going on to hit the insecurity, your circuit of insecurity, fear, and everything arises from that fear. Basic
Mhm.
fear of death and basic fear of being left alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take these two basic fears. Human beings cannot live alone. There's a
Yeah.
fear of death which haunts all of us. And from fear of being left alone, we try to compromise, we try
Mhm.
to conform, we obey people, we want to belong to somebody. That is the source of all morality, moral science, right, wrong, guilt, shame, continuous bending backwards to
Pretend.
belong.
Yeah.
But there is a cost to it. The cost is you keep suppressing and repressing yourself. You
Okay.
have to express it somewhere, either on digital media or anger or falling ill. So, amidst these stories of human beings,
Please say it again. Your
if you
voice
leave
cracked.
apart the people who have mental illnesses, the stories of
Yeah.
human beings, your
Yeah.
mind is continuously mental health issues are a new stories which are invading the minds.
Do you think it is a
The stress
compromising?
of living,
Yeah.
it is giving a credence to what could have been a transitory phenomena in past.
Please
The
rephrase it. Mm.
acceptance of the struggle of life. That acceptance of struggle of life is gone.
Yes. Yes.
So when you do not accept that life has a struggle, it has its own share of miseries and sorrows and emotions and everything. It will come and go. You want to be comfortable all the time. You
Yes.
want the status quo. You don't want things to change. So then you create a problem for yourself.
Right.
This is what is pervading people. Otherwise, students should enjoy studying. They'll get something to do. But they're so worried. What will happen? This is what will happen. Nothing going to happen.
I agree. So, at this point, I'll just revise what you have just mentioned, that how loneliness is leading to two things. One, loss of individual significance. Because you're not interacting with real people, you lose a sense of significance. You are you have created this alternate virtual reality for yourself by being in front of the screen in more than one way. And then second, you are compromising in whatever is left in your real life, in the real interactions, and what, and then it creates another loop that all the systemic structures in the society are already training you to become something useful for the workforce. And again, in your
Yes.
personal life, because of your loneliness, you are again creating a loop where you want to fit in to belong. So, in both ways, you are not being yourself,
Yeah.
you are suffocating, and that is creating that internal conflict, which you mentioned in the beginning of this talk, that
Yeah.
this
It
urge,
may sound
the harmony
Marxist.
is missing.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, please.
No, no, carry on, please.
No, I was just connecting with
No,
the beginning of the conversation to where we have arrived in this conversation because we have almost 5 to 7 minutes left. So I just
yes,
wanted
yes.
to be sure I'm following you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. So, so create. So in Mahabharata, what it was asked, what was the greatest good? They said self-restraint. You should know what you need, one, and you should know where your influence lies. But see, when resources were always there. There was when people were poor, they were
Mm-hmm.
so caught in for the bread and butter. It's all revolutionary and cyclical.
Yes.
Now, living condition and economic conditions have improved. People have a lot of time in their hand. But unless they have been taught how to use that time, the
Yes.
time will create either constructive thing or destructive thing. We should, I think, if you ask me one thing, I'm not talking about people who have mental illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar, I've already mentioned. I'm talking about these 80% people whose life is being medicalized.
What
Doctors,
is it?
psychologists, they're all trigger happy. They all trigger happy. You take a problem, they will put a diagnosis on it and refer you for therapy and medical treatment and all. This is medicalization of life. And there's
Please,
$1 billion industry is running on that.
please say
Life
some
is
more
life.
about.
You know, I'm saying people, if they accept that life is a flow,
Yes.
all emotions are natural emotions, they're all transitory, they'll come and go unless something is bothering you so much that you need help. It is persistent and long standing. Go get treatment and move on in your life. Otherwise, things are transitory, they'll up and down, and it will go. Life is dynamic. All life is about motion only, movement. How can you expect everything but insistence is a false sense of certainty which media, politicians, ideologues, religion, they create that no, everything should be certain. It is not certain. God is not certain.
Mm-hmm.
God has created, if God has created, He has created an uncertain system. Why are we so insistent? If we accept a flow in life,
Yes.
then you'll be able to handle it better. And even then, if you should seek help, then the counselor and everybody should tell them that okay, this is illness, this is not illness.
Mm-hmm.
You need some support to tide over. We used to take help of friends, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do we need counselors and psychologists for everything? That is a sign of loneliness. You have
Yes,
nobody to talk to.
absolutely.
If you accept flow of life is ebbing and swirls, and in this swirl of life, there are very brief moments when things appear stabilized.
Yeah.
They will stabilize and again go into a swirl. A total chaotic dynamics. If we accept that, then life will become easier. Acceptance. If you don't, then there are people sitting happy, trigger happy to uh, put a medical label on your life.
Yes, yes. And on this
And then,
note, yeah, please.
yes. And they will carry this label all their life.
Yes,
And every time you do this, your coping mechanisms, your skill set, your inner strength goes for a hit. Because your memory will remember that every time you were falling, you needed a hand. Sometimes you should fall, sometimes you should get up. Things will happen. And, anyways, let me end with this. What is it? Thousands of years have passed, people have come and gone. Anybody who is living now at this moment, in 100 years, they will not be here. You agree with this?
absolutely.
So,
That's
what is the problem? What is the
the
problem?
problem is the problem is this
It's
huge
okay to be sad.
contradiction. Sorry?
Problem is that people want to be, they have put some artificial label called being happy.
Yes.
Is the American model of happiness. You're fixated on material stuff. So you are chasing happiness. Chasing happiness will not bring happiness.
Yes, and
Actually,
then yeah.
suffering without least damage, that will bring happiness.
Yes, I agree on it that we have to learn through to how to navigate during this whirlpool like events in the life. That is one. And two,
Yes.
we have to talk more about how to arrive at this acceptance of these ebbs and flows. That is two. And
Yes.
there are a couple of things which evoked curiosity in me. And I think that next time when we speak, I'll channel this into a questionnaire for you. And then you can walk us through these concepts according to your understanding.
I'll be happy to
So,
share whatever I know. I don't know everything, but whatever
yes,
I
yes,
have
you are
thought of the world.
absolutely
So, so if you ask me three words, judgment, conditioning, prejudice.
okay.
This is how our brain is caught in misery. To try to reduce these three things, always think about what has been told to you, critically think whether it is required for you or not. Define your own need and greed. And let me tell you one sentence: don't run in a rat race, because even if you win, somebody said it, you will still be a rat. So have your own way. At the end of the day, the good thing is a very good thing. Whatever you do, whatever, at the end of it doesn't matter actually. Good thing with life is whatever you have done, it will fall into place at the end of it. And now, whatever you do will be consumed by AI.
Yes,
So
it
you
is
have nothing to
already
do.
consumed. They are
You have
calling it democratization of the globe. But
nothing to lose. Everything will fall in place, everything for AI. So be
yes,
happy.
yeah.
So we'll catch up someday
All
from
right.
this.
Thank
All
you.
right, you take care.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for
very
this
much, Gagan, for
conversation.
sparing time.
Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye for
Take
now.
care.
Take care.
Bye.